If you've ever wondered whether it was too late to build strength, change your body, or feel more confident in your skin, this episode will completely reframe that belief. Today, I'm joined by fitness instructor, health and wellbeing coach, Meaghan Dobinson, as we discuss why strength training becomes even more powerful as we age, not just for muscle tone, but for longevity, metabolism, hormone balance, and even the health and appearance of our skin. This is a grounded, empowering conversation about redefining what fitness looks like in your 40s and beyond, and why getting stronger might be the best thing you can do for how you look and how you feel. Thanks for tuning in again today to the Can I Get a Refill podcast. I'm your host, Steph Bruno-Newton. As always, be sure to jump on the website, canigetarefillpodcast.com.au, link down below to download your free 33-page ebook on 7 steps to protect your energy and fill up your cup. As I always say, you cannot pour from an empty cup, so I've designed a guide to help you take care of yourself in order to up-level your life. Download it today and make yourself a priority in 2026. Okay, now let's jump in. Hello, my cup fillers, and welcome back to the Can I Get a Refill podcast. As just promised, we're in for a treat today as we're joined by special guest Meaghan Dobinson. Meaghan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Steph.
I'm so grateful to have you here. You look very beautiful for those watching on YouTube for a Sunday morning, and I appreciate your flexibility recording on a Sunday, which I rarely do. So it's so good to have your company.
Taking the time. Thanks so much, Steph.
And I'm really excited for this, Meaghan, because as I was just saying, I'm 42. We're nearing 43 as this airs, and I think my demographic is similar in age to me as well. So this is a really great topic to talk about. So let's just jump straight in and talk about. Just tell us a little bit about your journey and what led you into the fitness industry.
So as a young girl, I had some problems with walking and the way my bones formed and that sort of thing. So in my teenage years, I got into strength training. And then after I had my daughter in my early 20s, I got into Pilates to sort of just get everything back on track. And I loved it so much that I took it on as my vocation. And I think...
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it probably wasn't that common back then, Pilates, was it?
It was starting to rise when it came to fitness and stuff, but I think that it was quite specialized for people that really wanted to take their posture seriously and, strength and all that sort of thing. So it really highlights just the importance of good posture, strength training, and just being able to use your body properly. I'm never in pain and everything became a lot easier, but it doesn't look hard, but it is actually very difficult.
Hard. Yeah. And I'm an ex-dancer, and nearly every ex-dancer I know went into Pilates because it's such a sort of similar technique, but it looks, when you watch the class from afar, it looks nice, and when you're doing it, it is so hard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I think that it's something that it's just good for all of life. So if you do weight training, if you do running, if you do, dancing, anything like that, like I think that Pilates is sort of like the foundation of balance and just overall strength. I do think that it's super important, and I never stop doing it. It's definitely a staple for the rest of my life, but along with training. So getting into that, and then I just loved it so much. And then going forward, I sort of like added in nutrition, and I take a great interest in supplementation and stuff as well.
Yeah, it's important. And like you said, as we're getting into 40s, it's not just the aesthetic. It's definitely how you feel. And I'm talking to friends now that are like, oh, I hurt my knee the other day. Friends are talking about joints, and like we feel and look too young to be talking about that, but we're not. Like that stuff matters. And, and when you have young kids like myself, especially, and you're running around after them, you need to be at your fittest. So all of this, looking at it from, that longevity and that how you feel perspective is so important, isn't it?
If I could turn back time and I could say to my friends, like I've always done it, but I would do more training and more strength training and eat more protein, because it's actually from about 29, 30, particularly for women, we really start to lose our muscle mass. And then after 40, it rapidly reduces. So without muscle mass, if we take a fall or all sorts of things, but bad posture, all these sorts of things lead to chronic ailments like that you sort of can't reverse going forward. It becomes a lot more difficult to reverse them. So I think that I can't stress enough how important it is to do strength training, have a high protein diet, and Pilates.
Yeah, and it is. And we know that now from the information, but when I was in my teens and my 20s, it was girls do cardio, guys do strength. Fat is the devil. So I would eat a Greek salad and a bread roll for my lunch.
Yeah.
If I did that now, I'd be starved in 20 minutes. Like I need
I
protein.
know. And we'd waste away, right? You know what I mean? Like in like not in a good way, like at all. You know, not that there is a
No.
good way, but you want it, yeah, you sort of
No, it
want
was
to
almost like frailty was praised and now strength is just so praised.
Oh, absolutely.
As we're recording this, the Winter Olympics are coming to a close. It'll air later on, but I don't know if you've watched any of it. There's this figure skater that I'm now down the rabbit hole of this girl. I think her name's Alyssa Liu, and I'm obsessed with her. She's Chinese heritage, I think, but US representative, and she quit when she was young because she was told to lose weight. And she's got this most gorgeous, strong, and I'm a big quad girl, and she's got these big, beautiful quads. And she quit, and she came back to the sport on her own terms, not being told what to do. And she's just won gold, and she is like, I've got goosebumps. Like the whole internet's obsessed with her because when she did something from a place of joy for herself instead of being told to fit into this mold and be thin, she won gold. And it's just like the representation for women at the moment. Like I'm so in love with her. But yeah, the things you can do for yourself when you just focus on yourself and not listen to others and aesthetic. Yeah.
I mean, and I encourage that as well for women to take it into their own hands. I think that it's a very even from people that I know, it's a really hard thing to start because it's overwhelming, right? Like, and a lot of, and I think that you're right. Our age demographic never really praised strength training, and Pilates can look intimidating if you have never done it, right? But we all start somewhere.
Strength in itself, right? Like jumping on a treadmill, you feel like I can figure it out. When you first start doing strength, the equipment could be intimidating. Once you've got it, you've got it. But it is intimidating.
Yeah, but I do think that if you make space and you tell yourself that you deserve it, right? Like I think that a lot of women don't feel, I don't know, maybe like from what I hear, that it's almost like it's such a big step to go and do something like that for themselves, especially as you said in our age demographic, like children are young and you know what I mean? But
do you mean like as in terms of giving yourself permission to do something for yourself? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This comes up a lot with my guests. It's that sort of, there's twofold, advocating for yourself or allowing yourself, time for yourself to fill up your own cup, which was the whole premise of this podcast. So yeah, it's funny how many women relate to that. I'm sure men do too. I'm just not chatting with them as much on this show. I just think it's, from my witnessing, it's more of a women's thing. All right, can you talk us through what happens to our bodies, particularly muscle mass and bone density over 40, and how can we redefine middle age through strength, supplementation, and science-based self-care?
Bone density and muscle mass after the age of 30, and this is why I encourage anyone, especially women, because it's slightly more rapid in women. Our muscle mass starts declining at 1% per year after 30. You can't change it. So when we don't have muscle mass, our bone density deteriorates also, which then leads to obviously ill health, a greater risk of injury, and having to go on medications, which then in turn leads to other problems, right? So, and 30 is not old, right? So you want to get ahead of that before that starts to happen. And I'd say that bad posture and it leads to bad confidence, lowering confidence. Yes. And it's 30, 40, even 50, you won't feel it. But 55, like a lot of people start to need to take medications for their bone density and all these sorts of things. So high protein, and when I say high protein is like 120 grams of protein per day. And that's a lot. And I speak to people and they're like, that's just too much. And it's like, that's what's required. Do you know what I mean? Because muscle is just straight protein. And if you're burning it without even doing anything after 30, replenishing it takes a lot. So that's 120 grams of protein for a woman.
And it sounds like a lot, but that's if you're wandering around aimlessly. But if you're planning out your snacks and meals for the day, it's definitely achievable, isn't it? Without feeling too full.
100%.
Yeah, and it's just being diligent about it.
From my experience, I had a thyroid issue. And when I started to take my protein intake seriously, which was probably 5 years ago. It just reversed it.
Yeah.
So, because it led to, because thyroid's related to iron, and, they put you on medication, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, I'm not really into that. So I just stopped doing that. With a more protein rich diet, it just reversed on its own. And then also strength training, well, you need to load up your bones with weight.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a really intimidating thing to do, but even if you're just at home, like doing a plank for 40 seconds, right? And you just do some squats, like, because you're not going to go and pick up a weight if you've never done it, or you've got little kids at home. So as well as that, there's just so much coming out about supplementation, especially for women, because I do feel as though supplementation has always been really sort of driven towards the male market. And like creatine is so important for women, for their cognition, as well as for muscle mass and longevity. There's new studies coming out saying that it's actually essential for women to have a minimum of 5 grams of creatine per day, whether or not you're working out. But definitely for recovery and all these sorts of things, creatine you can't go past, as obviously as well as protein. So,
but
yeah,
again,
those two things
wasn't talked about a lot years ago for women, was it? And all of a sudden, in the last year or two, huge.
Even like I feel that protein was always like for women like a real no-go. Like you're going to bulk up, and it's like we're not like we're supposed to have muscle, and I think that even women that go out and they eat a salad or whatever, the more muscle that you have, the more fat that you burn as well. So there's nothing wrong with doing any of it. There's nothing wrong with doing weights. There's nothing wrong with eating protein. It's always going to be beneficial. And I think that, creatine is something that I just think you can't go past. I mean, there's obviously magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, these ones as well that I think they're essential for every woman also. But creatine, particularly after 40, is something that it's a no-brainer.
Right. Interesting.
There's definitely new science coming out around supplementation around, I'm sure that you've probably heard of peptides and stuff like that.
Yes.
And peptides is something that signals the body to create things that the body creates normally, like collagen, glucogen, or all these things that as we age, or we've, eaten too much sugar, or we've not moved our body enough, these signals the body doesn't send out enough signals to create these hormones or to create, collagen or whatnot. So peptides just assist the body in doing that.
Right. So the peptides are assisting the body in what it's naturally meant to do, which would slow down after time due to age and environmental factors.
Age, environment, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Stress particularly is another thing. So obviously
it ruins everything.
Being a mum,
like your hormones. Yeah.
So stress is just like the most it's the most difficult thing, right? Like, and you can't say, oh, just don't stress, especially if you've got little kids, right?
And that's what I'm finding, Meaghan. I'm reading a book on breath work at the moment, and stress it's been painted as the devil, but it's part of life. It's more about learning to adapt to it, isn't it? And because you can't. It's like I'm a controlling personality by nature, and it's like you can't control every set of external circumstances, but what I can control is how my body or my nervous system reacts to it. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, because you just, in this day and age, especially with online, everything coming at you all the time, you can't stop stresses being part of your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's a space for cortisol, which is what the problem is. Right, we need it, because otherwise, it wouldn't be there. There's something in our brain where stressing about something is not going to make it any better.
No, that's right.
So
you just live through it. I always say when it's like you're stressing about something impending, I go, you're just living through it twice, because you're stressing about it beforehand, and then you're going through it again.
Yeah. So peptides and things like that, actually. There's some great peptides that assist with that exactly. So being able to manage stress, because it's just a natural reaction to, to a lot of stimulus and a lot to do and that sort of thing. So, so peptides.
Can I ask you, it might be a dumb question. Is this the same as collagen peptides? Is that the same thing?
So there's all different kinds of peptides, and some things that are labeled as peptides that are not. They're actually just supplementation to replenish other things that the body lacks as time goes on that you can replenish. So NAD and glutathione, which are amazing supplements, but they're not peptides.
Yes.
But then there's like collagen peptides. A lot of people drink it, which going through the gut, some of them work really well, but collagen peptides is something that that works best if it's taken subcutaneously, or if you can get it in like so that's
Is that what you do for yourself?
I do, yeah. So like you can take so you'll see like hair replenish and your skin replenish and those sorts of things. So they're also known as copper peptides. I'm sure you've probably heard of it.
Yes.
But
Okay.
you can apply it to the skin, or some people do it, in those like Ivy League drips and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I used to do things like that all the time before I had a child, Meaghan, when I used to spend every cent on myself. Now, not so
it's
much.
definitely an indulgence. It's definitely an
Yeah,
indulgence.
isn't it? Yeah. No, it's definitely a luxury. It's nice to do, but there's certainly other ways you can find things to add things into your diet. Do you take NAD? I see those things coming up
I
a
take
lot.
NAD. NAD is like, so that as well is something that can be taken subcutaneously. It's amazing in an IV drip. NAD, and it has to be taken in conjunction with NMN, is extremely anti-aging, right? So when we were saying redefining middle age, I think that there's definitely a huge shift in particularly our generation, like millennials, where like in my opinion, we're going away from sort of a lot of injectables and constant skincare and constant this and that, and we're going into more of an age of anti-aging from within, so sort of biohacking and age reversal. The most anti-aging thing that anyone can do is strength training, and then aside from that, protein and but supplements such as peptides, they change your biochemistry at a cellular level. So you'll see like that. I know people that are that start taking peptides, and they'll like within 2 or 3 weeks, particularly in their 50s and 60s, they'll look 5 or 10 years younger within like no time at all. You know what I mean? So their sleep is greatly improved.
I love a good supplement, Meaghan, and I have this whole list on my notes at my phone of things I'm going to take, but I'm currently trying for baby number 2 and it hasn't happened yet. And there's certain things that you have to pause, and I'm like, can I just hurry up so I get back into my self-care? No, like I know it sounds like, like I'm focusing on the wrong thing, but self-care and looking after myself is very important too. And a lot of that's on pause, not just when you're pregnant, but also when you're trying to be pregnant. So I'm like, I can't wait to take care of myself again. I feel like I'm in a bit of limbo.
So what do you do now in this at this time? Do you do your Pilates and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, I'm doing all the stuff. And in terms of supplementation, I'm still doing all my same training, but I've dialed back any sort of hit in high intensity just because I think my hormones are a bit out of whack. And now that I'm chasing after a little person, I can definitely feel that my stress is higher than when I was trying for the first child, because I'm like on guard, like before we jumped on to record, he climbed this chair onto this table, banged his hair. I was in the bathroom getting ready, and my husband turned his head to help me with my microphone, and his mouth's bleeding because he smacked his head on the table. So it's, people don't understand, it's constant stress. Like you're on guard like a cat 24/7. What's he doing? Boys.
I have a girl and she was very good, but yeah.
He's such a boy. I had my mum on FaceTime once, and she's like, oh, you and your brother were never like that. Like he just climbs everything in the house. Like he's very much like my husband's family, very active, very boyish. So it's like survival mode. Oh,
well, I admire you going for number 2, but it'll be so beautiful to have you.
Oh, pray for a girl for me.
I hope it's nice and calm.
Look, we've touched on strength training, but just tell me, how often should we be strength training each week to enhance cellular health and reverse biological aging?
Look, this sounds like a lot, but I'm going to say 4 times for half an hour. I'm going to say 4 times. And I know that that's really, really overwhelming to, especially like for someone in your position, right? Which is very common, young children at women our age that also do some kind of work and all these sorts of things. But I would recommend just doing it at home. Just do something at home.
I was just going to say, Meaghan, I've had to pivot. I have Y-bells and some dumbbells in my house and band work. And I've had to pivot. I was in the gym 6 days a week and now I'm lucky to go once a week. No joke. Actually, my beautiful oceanfront gym is closing in a few weeks. And I was like, good, this is the catalyst. I need to find one with a creche because I'm not giving back to myself. And that would just be a great way for my kid to be like entertained and me to get proper workouts in again.
Especially like for women post children, our children take a lot of the stuff from our body that we need, and strength training naturally rebuilds it. Like it needs it, right? Because we're bone loading and all those sorts of things. Like children will deplete a lot of your calcium, a lot of your zinc, and all these sorts of things that, supplementations. It's not enough though, right? Like strength training is essential, and absolutely four times a week. And even if you just go online, there's like small little workouts that anyone can just.
There's free stuff on YouTube. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's this US trainer, Sydney Cummings, that I use through my pregnancy because I stopped going to the gym as much, and it's great. Like you can roll out your mat if you can only fit in 30 minutes. Great. Like it's done. There's no travel to and from the gym. You make do. You have to pivot, don't you? It's not like when you're 25
and even if you're your child, like take him up.
I did when he was a baby. I used to squat with him. As more people complain that GLP-1s, I think that's what we call them, such as Ozempic, are making them look old, what are some other ways we can achieve similar results without losing tone?
Okay, so with Ozempic, there's a place for Ozempic, right? I do a lot of like research. I've tried it myself just to see why, like what happens. And the effects are profound. And so, but the loose skin and the sagging and stuff like that, for any woman, that's not what you want, right? So,
and is that, Meaghan, just because it's rapid weight loss? So
it is rapid weight loss. So the skin stretches. So like, stretched skin just loses its elasticity. And so what strength training when you're on GLP-1s it's absolutely essential. And I took it once, and it was sort of like, because it suppresses your appetite, you don't have the energy to strength train. People take GLP-1s and they're like, I'm going to suppress my appetite and lose heaps of weight. It's not really for that. Like the weight, and it's the same with like Redefining, which is another one that's going to be approved fairly shortly, which is, in my opinion, it's better. It's a GLP-3. If you're not doing the things to support a healthy lifestyle, not just losing heaps of weight, it's going to work against you. You still need to eat heaps of protein. You can't just go, oh, I'm not going to eat. As soon as you come off it, because you don't want to stay on these things forever, right? You kind of want to keep.
Is that what they're meant to be? I don't know a lot about them. Are they meant to be interim until you get your weight to a healthy place, and then you're meant to carry it through healthy diet and lifestyle?
Yeah, like I think that if you trick your body into like not being hungry, because it
gets used to it.
Gets used to it. And then when you do come off it, because these things are expensive, to suppress your appetite is unusual. So like either cycle it or kickstart it and come off it. But if you don't do the things that are really important to kind of like live a healthy lifestyle anyway, you're not going to get the desired results. So yes, I see a lot of people that kind of lose heaps and heaps of weight. Then obviously they their skin stretch, they look older. So weight training is absolutely essential when you're taking GLP-1s more than anyone else. While you're losing weight, you're not just losing fat, you're losing muscle. Muscle is required to burn fat. So if you're taking GLP-1s and you think, oh yeah, great, I've lost whatever, 5 kilos, 15 kilos, whatever you're trying to do, but you've not done weight training, you've actually taken a big step backwards when you do come off it. And if you stay on it and you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, you're just going to deteriorate more and more and more. It's not a one-stop shop to sort of just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to take that and I'll look great.
There's no miracle fix to anything, is there? You still got to.
No. And as time goes on, it becomes more and more difficult to stay looking good and feeling good and all that sort of stuff. So GLP-1s are great, but you do have to do the things that assist the way that it works. Yeah.
You can only trick your body for a certain amount of time, and then it needs the natural way.
Coming off it is challenging as well. So people don't like, they'll sort of start to up their dose, you know. What they should be doing is probably just staying where they're at, starting to look at their diet, starting to look at their
Yeah.
exercise regime, and then over time actually start to like take it down.
Well, I think
Yeah,
that's good. I know someone who went on and had like a support person guiding them through it, and I thought that's really helpful. That's what you would need. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what to do. And I get why people do it. Like it's such a confidence thing. Like we're so judged by our appearance, and sometimes the longer you're out of shape, the harder it is to get back into it. Like for instance, seems unrelated, but I used to work with like a job network where people were off work for so long. I had to get them into work for the doll programs. They were off work for so long, they lost their confidence to get back into work. So even just doing like one day here working at Vinnie's, it got them their confidence back for going out and having a regular schedule and talking to people. So a lot of them ended up getting work after that because they felt their confidence get back up. So I get why people would go on something like Ozempic just to feel good about themselves. And then they probably want to keep going with taking care of themselves because it's almost like a fresh start. Let's start back from the beginning again.
Sure. Like, and and that's why I think it is really good. But again, like, I think it needs to be something that it's used as a tool, not as a quick fix.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And those particular peptides, they can have side effects that are kind of undesirable, like like nausea, which, is difficult to manage when you're being social and those sorts of things. So, it's something that is so good for kickstarting something. But I would say as well that even just for a mental health thing, there's a great sense of achievement when you can do something and then go, oh, look, I can stay in this space without sort of relying on something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, support to talk to somebody about how you're feeling. Because a lot of people as well, they can't manage the food noise in their head, especially if they work a lot.
Yes.
Or they've got a heavy family, heavy family and work schedule. They just eat to stay awake, right? Which I get,
Food noise. I've never heard that term before. That's a real thing. That's definitely been something that I've struggled with for a long, long time. Yeah. I mean, I grew up as a dancer with very thin girls. Like I was in diet culture from age 10. Like it's something I don't wish on anybody. That's why I hope none of my children want to get into dancing, but I'm sure it's improved a lot since then. But yeah, it's not good. We should be focusing on fitness, not on the aesthetic, that's for sure. What are some everyday habits that are making us look older than we should?
I think that most people are dehydrated and underslept, those two things. And do you know what else as well? Like our diet is huge. It's absolutely huge. Women at our age, and we've got young children and we're doing work and all these sorts of things. A lot of people will just grab whatever's there, or worse, they won't eat at all, and then they'll go and have a salad and a bread roll or something like that. Those things age you like so much. But the best thing is that as soon as you stop doing that, and I know that time is such a big constraint for everybody. I would say that, again, taking the time to just weight train at any time of the day, and even just prepping something, like even if you have cans of tuna, a few boiled eggs, fruit is amazing. So anything that's more like, that's not just, protein bars or any, like the things that are empty calories.
No, agreed.
You want whole foods.
Whole foods, yeah.
Another thing that I think is very aging and can easily be sort of avoided is that people's posture, because a lot of us work at home. I see that when people have good posture, they instantly look happier and they actually look younger.
Well, surely posture has gotten worse from computers and phones because we're all curved over like this. Because do you know what's funny? I worked in retail when I was young and never had any neck issues, used to wear heavy necklaces. Then when I went into office work and could never wear a necklace again because I would just get like stooped shoulders.
Really? Yeah.
I wear like a back brace thing that pulls my shoulders back as I work. So surely all of the technology has made our postures worse.
And it causes headaches.
Yeah.
It's like very like taking the time to stretch if you're working at a computer all day, like just taking a stick, raising it above your head, whatever, hanging off the door frame, all these sorts of things like is super, super important. And I even find, like, I don't work on the computer much, but there are times where I might have to do like 3 or 4 hours a day on the computer for whatever reason. And even after that, everything, it's actually your body sits into it, and it's hard to sort of go, I'm going to go against that and go and open up my shoulders and open up my chest and stand up straight. It's easy to just sort of sit there and keep going and keep typing and sort of slump into it. So if it's your work every day, it takes effort, but the rewards are just, they're there. And I think
I agree. And I break at least every hour to go for a little walk, but especially I do stretches and sort of like those somatic sort of movement things. And I used to see that as a chore, and now I'm dying to do it because I know that straight away I feel good, like I've had an adrenaline rush or something, like just that moving that stagnant energy through the body. I reckon the two best things I've implemented in my life in the last year are sunlight on my face as soon as it streams in from my balcony. I run out. If my sun's up, I grab my sun. I'm like, quick, we're going to go get sun. And we stand out there, just like face the sun. And then doing just movement constantly, especially when I first wake up, just to like get all the fluid like moving around. That has changed my mood and my energy drastically.
Well, just mentioning that, even sunlight, the first sunlight in the morning, which I'm a huge believer in. I'm up before sunlight because I'm a personal trainer. But the thing is that actually readjusts your circadian rhythm. Yeah. So your sleep is better, which would be super important for you at this point in time. And for your son too, so you can get some sleep as well.
Exactly. But it all depends on his sleep.
That's it. So sleep, obviously, good quality sleep is super anti-aging too. Yeah. So, just those sorts of things, making sure you're getting sunlight. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer as well that drinking alcohol is
I was going to ask your take on caffeine and alcohol. I'm hearing just more and more, especially alcohol, people reducing. Like there's so many even vloggers I watch that used to drink. Like me, I drank a lot through my 20s and 30s because that was just what everyone did when you were out. And now I haven't had a drink. The Lady Gaga concert was the only time I've had a drink in about the last 1 to 2 years. I'm just not interested. I just don't. I feel dehydrated, even if I have my hydrolyte. I don't know. I would rather feel really good. But then my lifestyle is different. If I was out and single, I'd probably still be drinking because I feel like it's a social thing.
For me, I just feel it in my body, and it's just, you can feel straight away that it's like, oh, like it shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So,
you know why I stopped first? Mental health. I feel it was making me anxious, which is really odd because it used to do the opposite. And I would feel anxious, like not after the first drink, but after the second drink. And I was like, nah, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's very aging. Like alcohol is super aging. It's hard on the liver. And, I think that's another thing that after 30, liver really, it becomes slow, right? Everything slows down. So
she's in retirement. She's living in a retirement village after 30. Yeah. And it dehydrates you, right? Like, doesn't caffeine do the same thing?
Oh, there are good things with caffeine, but what happens is that when people are super tired or they've got to really concentrate at work, they won't have one. They'll have 5 coffees a day.
And then they're wired.
That's a lot. Yeah. That is super dehydrating. That's an overload of the liver also. So that, that becomes aging, and it does interrupt your sleep too. So not for everybody, but for the
everyone's different, right? My dad's from Sicily and he has like an espresso after dinner and then lays down on the pillow and snores. I'm like, oh my God. like heart racing. Yeah, there's just no way.
No way.
It's crazy.
No. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like some people can just process it. I know I've got girlfriends as well that just, they can have coffee at 4 p.m. and they're fine, right?
Everyone's different. Yeah. But everything comes back to listening to your body. This is what I'm always talking about. And I feel like my body's different to so many people. But whenever I tune in and listen to my body, everything goes well. It's when I go against what I know doesn't suit me, then I sort of regret it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And even like at 40 now, like we touched on HIIT classes, right? If I do something that doesn't, there's just certain things that just don't agree with me anymore. And I think that probably more than other things, I'd say that probably exercise is something where I can feel myself getting older, where I go,
we've changed.
That high impact stuff or it just doesn't work for me anymore, right?
Listen, I don't think I'll ever do a burpee ever again. I think I've said goodbye and broken up to burpees for good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Whereas now I used to do like interval sprints and that felt good. Now that feels horrible. Now slow, long distance running feels amazing. I'm loving that. So it's just listening to my body. It changes all the time and got to ask her what she needs. And then when I follow through, the results are
And
better.
even like, yeah, and even sort of afterwards. And I think that, you know, I know a lot of women who they do drink and then they sort of, you know, I can't move weight or you know, I don't, my mental health's not amazing. And
Yeah.
they kind of like know that it's not
Yeah.
working for them. So, but it's the same sort of thing as like, there's a lot of people that say, I feel really sluggish and, but you know, I can't be bothered to take a walk or whatever.
Yeah.
Your body sort of does tell you, right?
It
Like, this is
does.
what you need to do. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
need to do.
And do
Yeah.
you know what doesn't work for me, being really black and white, or saying I will never drink again? That's the worst thing. So I sort of just said I've been sober curious the last few years, but I'm all about I'll change if I need to. Like if I
Yeah.
do want a drink, I can. It's when I do that really, yeah, black and white of yes or no, then it's sort of
Pressure on
like
yourself.
years ago I used to diet so hard and then have like a full binge day, like once a
Yeah.
fortnight. I never feel like that anymore because I just allow myself to have things as I go now. So that works better for me.
My best physique is when I focus on eating enough protein. And outside of that, I kind of eat what I want. I don't, and
Yeah.
I don't go, oh, I've starved, so now I crave chocolate or now I crave pizza.
No.
Everything's significantly more balanced, right?
Yes. I said
So,
this to
you
you
know,
off
there's
air that when I'm in
all.
Italy eating carbs and pasta, I literally look my best, but I think it's because I'm just in the moment, enjoying life. Stress is low. I'm in the present moment. Like all that
Yeah.
stuff matters. And
Yeah.
of course, long walks. Long walks are the best. Like I couldn't live without long walks. At the moment, because they're doing construction in my building, I'm walking my son 2 hours a day so he can nap. But it's my reward to myself because he's asleep and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can relax and listen to a podcast and love a
Yeah.
good
Yeah. Yeah.
nature
Yeah.
long walk. You're spot on. It's definitely listening to yourself and treating yourself with that love and compassion. Every area of life comes back to that. I think it's more about
Yeah.
I'm doing a solo episode on sort of tapping into the feminine energy, and that's part of it. You know, like just
Yeah.
not punishing yourself. We're trying to live these masculine energy or these male driven lives with a female body, and it doesn't work that way at
And
all.
also just, I think that, you know, our body is a gift. And I think that, you know, treating it well and listening to it. And also there's a big component of mindfulness when you do things, right? So like for me, like, yes, I used to drink, you know, in my 20s and 30s when I'd go out. Well, I'm not in my 20s because my daughter was so young, but in my 30s, definitely. And there's been times when like I'll be like, I'm just gonna have wine. And like I don't even think about it. It's just what I did.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a lot of like, I went through a big journey of like everything that I did. It was like, am I in my body? Am I present now? Like, and when I'm drinking wine, am I enjoying this wine? Do I need this? And that was a big catalyst for me to go, this is actually mindless. It's not mindful. And it's the same as running on empty, salads. All of that is quite mindless. A mindless connection to yourself. And I think that when you're mindful, you can have a lot more control of what you do or don't do.
Oh, I've had a real light bulb moment with you saying that. That is so much of our day-to-day lives is mindlessness. Like you're just doing
Yeah.
what you've always done or what other people are doing. And when you stop and when you are mindful or after you've had a meditation or just time by yourself and you check in, you're like, that actually isn't working for me. And then you can pivot. Mindfulness is so crucial, isn't it?
Absolutely. Whether it's your fitness journey or if it's something starting a business, as you know, starting a podcast, I think that and I'm guilty of it a lot, but there'll be times where you just mindlessly do things that take away from what you're wanting to achieve. When you come present, it's really easy to identify what you do and don't want, and it's really easy to identify what you should and shouldn't do at any moment. It's just really taking the time to stay in that space as much as you can.
Yes, very, very well said. And that's the whole point of this podcast is tapping in and listening to the self all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, it sounds like you're very good at taking care of your needs and filling up your cup. So what's something you'll be doing in the next week to fill up your cup?
More mindfulness now. We've just been speaking about that, but that is something I've been working on probably over the last, since the beginning of the year, is just really being able to be present in the moment so that I can get the most out of life. Being a PT and a Pilates instructor, I think that it's not just about aesthetics.
Yeah.
And it's actually it's or even just physical health. I mean, for me, it's a lot of like mental health as well, and being able to just like calm down and understand like what's good for me, what I appreciate, rather than beating myself up about what I could do or how I could be, being grateful for what I am doing. Because I think that for me, when I'm proud of something, I want to do more of it,
Yeah.
so being able to just be present and really enjoy what I'm doing and be happy with, with progress, and also like, and encouraging others to do that too.
Yeah, progress over perfection. I love
Yeah.
that so much. And I think as it's going to get more and more, online and AI and just overwhelming society, I think this mindfulness is real, and being in the present moment is what's going to save us as humanity. So I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure on your podcast you see a lot of these pieces come together, and
Yes.
I mean, I think that mental, physical, and spiritual health all go hand in hand, and I
They
think that
do, and every
yeah,
chat I take away something for myself that's up-leveled my life. But it's so true. They do, everything goes hand in hand. And what I love about everyone I speak to is that like there's all different advice, but a lot of it comes back to free stuff that's available to us all the time. So being out in sunlight, getting in nature, being present. You can do that now on any budget. So that's what I love about it. Like, and a lot of the stuff I might talk about might be repetitive, but I think that's good. I think it's good to remind ourselves, hey, check in. It's time to it's time to go touch grass.
a lot of stress, right? So we
Yes.
forget to be mindful, and it's a
Yeah.
really strong point to be reminded of all the time, So I think no, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to go over that with you. So thank you.
Oh, I've enjoyed our chat so much. Thank you so much for your time
Thanks
today
so
and for
much,
everything you've
Steph. It was so
shared.
lovely to meet you, and I look forward
You
to
too.
seeing the final edit.
Oh, thanks so much. And everyone, please do something in the next week to fill up your cup.